Hello again. You are watching Akua Hinds online, and it is still August 23rd, 2013. I'm here interviewing North America's ontological coach and producer, Michelle Bacani-Lim, and this episode is part two of 20 Questions with Miki Grace. So if you saw part one, you saw that we were talking about a lot of relationship topics. We talked a little
Love
bit about
talking about
entrepreneurship. Same here, absolutely. Absolutely. And now I'm going to ask you some of your preferences, some of your dreams, Michelle, some of the things that you're all about. So, question number 6. If you were stranded on a desert island and could take only 3 songs with you, which 3 songs would you take and why?
So I thought this through in advance. I would actually bring Casey and JoJo All My Life because that's my wedding song with my husband.
Very nice.
Which we had a choreographed dance to and everything. So every time that song plays, I drop everything and go grab my husband and start dancing.
Nice.
Pretty much.
Even if you're in the car?
Yeah, we'll sort of chair dance together. I'll hug him or make out with him, even if we're in the car, definitely. And then I think the second song is one that just recently, I mean, I literally weep when I hear this song nowadays because it just brings out something in me. I don't know why, but it's Katy Perry, Roar.
Okay,
It's such a phenomenal song. I've posted on Facebook a number of times, just kind of enticing people, trying to get them to listen to it and weep the way that I do. But the reason why I do is because I heard one of the radio announcers say that she wrote it about her time in therapy and learning to love herself and learning to appreciate herself and build her confidence
after
and
her
self-esteem.
divorce?
I'm guessing. I'm not sure. I know that it's just something that she kind of went through through her therapy. And if you listen to the words, they're so powerful. They're so powerful. And I just love it because in my life, I always try to resonate with songs in that way.
Yeah, very nice.
And then the third song, it's tough because I was kind of torn between. Ooh, you know what? Can I give my runner-up choice before I give my final? I don't know. It's tough. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give both. It's a toss-up between Quiet, which is by, oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't think of the name of the writer. Oh, I'm so terrible.
Well, if you're watching,
if you're watching, I can't even imagine. I usually have my phone on me and I could just look it up because I listen to it so much. And the final one, I guess the toss-up would be the new Jay-Z song, which is Holy Grail with Justin Timberlake. And also the other one, sorry, I have another one, which would be, I think, the one that I told you about, which is Starting from the Bottom.
Oh, yes.
By Drake. Yeah. So these are some of the songs that they're just kind of those anthem songs that kind of just really get you going and pumped up. And, you know, I mean, the reason why I like Drake is just because I hear the words that he's saying, and, you know, like starting from the bottom, now we're here, and it's just like
I can relate to that.
I can relate to that in some ways. You know, I mean, I never say that I've grown up in the ghetto. I mean, I did grow up in a tougher part of Mississauga, but
I never grew up in the ghetto. I was raised in Mississauga in a very we start off in a very middle class area, and then we moved to an upper middle class area, and so when I hear rap songs about ghetto life and stuff, I can't relate to that. So for me, it's kind of like I just can't relate to that. I think that's why I love pop music so much. Yeah. We don't talk about those things. We don't think about those things.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's interesting because when I talk to my parents, they can't believe that I perceived that I lived in a sort of a lesser environment when I was growing up. But we grew up in the Paisley area in Mississauga, and I don't know if anyone really considers that a bad area necessarily.
Well, you're entitled to your perception, right?
And that's my perception. But I get what he's saying about, And then with Jay-Z, as I was telling you earlier, I really admire a lot of the business acumen that he's had. I know that he's probably made a lot of different choices and, being married to Beyonce and so forth. And but I like what he says in that song. It's a very interesting song, and of course JT. Everyone loves JT.
I love Justin Timberlake so much. I remember seeing him in concert years ago. I just love him.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And him and Christina Aguilera. I'm dancing both.
Oh, nice. Oh, she's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, she does.
That's a tough question. I don't know that I would just bring 3 songs.
I know it. If you could only bring 3.
Because I was also going to say anything by Hans Zimmer. I love.
I've never heard of Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer is he does all the like cinema soundtracks. I mean, he's done so many. He did Inception and the majority of the music that's out there. So much of it in cinema is by Hans Zimmer, and it's just
cool.
I love that sort of soundtrack and just. Especially when I'm getting creative, I like listening to it, and it just kind of pushes me. It's good.
Nice. So what top 3 cities, Michelle, do you want to visit within the next 10 years, and why?
Wow. Top 3 cities that I want to visit. I definitely want to go to Hawaii, and I guess.
But where in Hawaii? City. Oahu?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd want to go there because I think it's just gorgeous and beautiful. And Chris and I have spoken about that at length.
Nice.
I'd really love to go to Paris.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Paris. We were supposed to go for our honeymoon, but I got pregnant. So we had to cancel it. And we still haven't gone. And I think it's tough. Where else would I want to go? Probably Manila. I'd actually want to go back to the Philippines. I went when I was 12, and I feel a calling to understand my heritage a lot more.
Right.
I feel a calling to understand the culture that I kind of have felt a little bit, standoffish about. Yeah, a little bit removed from it. And so I'd really like to understand that a little bit more.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, for me, well, my parents are from the Caribbean, Barbados, and it's so much closer than Manila. So it's so much more affordable to go. So I've gone several times, ever since I was a child and as an adult as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Manila is so much further and more expensive to go to, right? So it's not just hopping on a plane and getting there within 5 hours.
Like 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It's 12 to 18 hours. I don't know. I think it's 18. I'm almost certain it's 18 plus hours.
I think it's like over $1,000 to go.
Oh, it's very expensive. Unless you can find like a ridiculous deal, which is why most Filipinos try to look for deals.
But it's worth it, I think.
Go to Orcel Travel.
Yes, yes.
Or call my husband because they all have their TICO license and can book your travel.
It is worth it, though, I think, to go back to the homeland.
Yeah. Mind you, I'd love to go to Africa as well, which is also a goal of mine to head out to Africa.
But where in Africa?
I've heard East Africa is lovely. Because of the East African Chamber of Commerce. I attended that workshop recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure where specifically, but those top 3 I think would be my top 3.
Very nice. So what should people look for in a coach?
Wow. Such a good question.
Thank you.
I think the first thing is looking at that coach's life.
Okay.
And we used to have those bracelets that say, "What would Jesus do?"
Oh.
And I think whether you believe in Jesus or not, or whoever it is that you believe in your faith system, or whether you have a faith system or not, you'd have to say that Jesus in many cultures represented a life and led as an example. I think that's kind of what he really came across as. And for me, my purpose and my goal is to be a living example of a beautiful life that I want to lead. And how that shows up, physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, relationship-wise, I call it ebb and flow. So that's the new thing that I'm working on right now.
It's very you.
My new workshop. Thank you. Yeah. So the Miki Grace ebb and flow program is ebb, which is essence-based business or essence-based home, And FLOW stands for financial, love, opportunity, and wealth. And sorry, not wealth. Whoa, opportunity and well-being. Because financial, love, opportunity and well-being. So yeah, that's what I would look for. The first thing I would look for. You said top 3, right?
No, I just said what should people look for in a coach?
I would look for the living example. I would really look at that coach. I would really see, do I kind of want to emulate this coach? Would I want to have a career like this coach? Would I want to have a business like this coach? Would I want to have a relationship like this coach? You're not to be like them per se, but just, are they a living example of what they preach?
So are you saying that you feel that coaches should put their lives on display a little bit? Because how will you know how your coach lives unless they show you?
Right? Well, no, I wouldn't say that they have to put it on display, but I think you can see from somebody's nature and through their principles and values. I think by spending time with someone and understanding, as an example, my coaches that I've worked with, I absolutely love them. Spent time with them. Hans Philip, who's out in Santa Cruz, and Janice Pullen, who's out in New Mexico. And when I look at these people's lives, I'm blown away. I mean, you can look up Hans Phillips and on Facebook, and you can see he's got a beautiful wife and a beautiful son, and they live in a beautiful home, and he's got an amazing, thriving business. And the same with Janice, and that is what I look for. The other thing I look for is, does your coach have a coach? Is your coach being coached? Because if that coach is saying to you, hey, I want to be your coach and I can coach you, and it's like, well, and I want you to pay me anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a month, well, are you paying that much? Are you doing that? Are you investing in yourself? Are you, developing yourself? Are you improving yourself? That's what I would look for.
Okay.
And then finally, I mean, you have to have a connection. And just, there's 8 billion people on the planet, or just under that. Yeah. And, there's a match for everybody. And I know that there's a match of 10 to 20 coaching clients, private coaching clients that are perfect for me, and the right people that are going to fit into my workshops. And I think it has to be a good fit.
I hear you.
Yeah, they have to be likable. You gotta like them.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta like themselves too.
Yes, exactly.
So, we're all sexual beings from the moment we are born until the moment we die. And that being said, do you believe, Michelle, that being asexual is normal, or do you think it's not normal and a condition that needs to be treated?
So, I read that question today, and I was hoping to do a little bit of research into asexuality, because to be really honest, I kind of understand it.
As people who have no interest in sex.
Right. So your question is, do I find it normal?
Do you think it's normal, or do you think it's something that needs to be treated? Because coaches are all about helping us to improve. Yeah. Do you think that this is something that needs to be improved upon?
Well, I mean, number 1, what is normal? Number 2, what is normal sexual activity? There's actually a documentary that I was looking to watch, actually, which is all about asexuality. So I'll definitely watch that now that we're talking about it.
Maybe we'll have to re-ask this question of Michelle at a later time.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that should be treated. I mean, I think that there was a time when people would say ridiculous things like, certain types of sexuality should be treated. Do you know what I mean? But is it normal for some? I mean, people are celibate, and that, I mean, it's, some people that are celibate, maybe they're celibate because they don't have an interest in sex. Do we have to persecute them or, get angry? But I don't think it should be treated. But I do think that if someone is asexual, and they don't understand it, I think that might be cause for someone to maybe pursue in their own sort of way and time to see, is this something that I want to fix? Is this something that I want to have treatment for? But I think I do my best to come from a place of non-judgment, and I think you know that about me.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes people think that's a little flimsy, and people might feel that that's make a choice, right? But when it comes to sexuality, it's such a personal choice. People should be free people should be free with their sexuality and free to feel what they want to feel.
Well, thank you for answering that, and you're welcome. And this question is, I guess it's a good question to ask after what you just said about how, personal choices and how we should be free. Should other people's opinions matter, or should we primarily be concerned about our own views about everything in life?
Wow. Coming from a person who is a recovering people pleaser.
Wow, I've never heard of that term before. Recovering people pleaser. So you feel that it's something that needs to be fixed.
I think it should be addressed first to see how you feel about yourself first. And I don't necessarily think that it should be something that's fixed, but I think it depends on the situation.
But do you think people who put their own opinions first are selfish, or do you think they're not seeing the truth about things? Sometimes other people try to point us out to things that maybe we do need to pay attention to.
Well, I think that's a fair thing to say, but I think to put other people's opinions over yourself is to really not know yourself at all. I actually, it's funny that you're asking this, because I recently wrote, not really a poem, but, and I haven't released it yet, but it was really about me and people pleasing. And what I said was, what I was telling myself, it was almost like I was kind of giving myself good advice. And I will release this article because I think it's so powerful. But it basically said, I must love myself even when I feel I am unlovely.
Wow.
And the only reason why you might feel you're unlovely is because you look at other people's opinions. Or you have a poor opinion, of yourself. And in the first cut we were talking about self-esteem,
right,
and how powerful that is, and loving yourself is vital. And sometimes when we are so reliant on other people's opinions, we do not know ourselves. We do not know who we really are. And then we act like a chameleon. We shift ourselves and change ourselves to meet the needs of others.
Very true.
And then who are you?
It's very damaging.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And it's very frightening. So, yeah, I mean, I think other people's opinions are important because we live in a society and we live by rules, and you can't just do whatever you want.
Right.
So I think that's vital, but I think there's a fine line that we need to be confident about who we really are, and taking a stand. Taking a stand for who we are. And if I could stick in a little coaching, a coaching tool there. One of the things that I choose to do every day, and that's actually a tool that I got from my coach, Hans Phillips, which is to choose your stand for the day. And what does that mean? Well, it means, today, and I literally do it every morning when I wake up. I actually record it on my app. I have a smartphone, and I have an app that's called Lift, and I would highly suggest people to download that app. It's amazing. It allows you to track sort of well-being exercises and things that you do during the day, like your nutrition or drinking enough water.
Right.
But for me, my morning ritual includes choosing a stand for my day. And so my stand, for example, today is I trust life, I trust the universe, I trust myself.
Beautiful. You're welcome. And on that note, we're just going to end off the second part of Akua Hinds Online 20 Questions with Miki Grace. So this is your opportunity to get ready for the next.
Go get another snack or go take your pee break.
Exactly. Go give your loved one a hug or a kiss.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Exactly. Just show some love right now, because we have some really some more interesting questions from Michelle coming up. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.